Well, I'm showing up here just a few minutes early because they said, and I'm there. Perfect. Said Facebook was having some issues that we should check. Hello, welcome to my Tuesday in my studio. I'm Kathy Freeman, kathyfreemanart.com. You can catch me there, or the same address is realpositivechange.com. So today I'm going to bring you into my studio as I create something in my own little journal here. And there we go. We got it in focus. So how are you doing? Go ahead and post your name and where you're watching from. Are you watching from, there we go. Let me take that off. Are you watching from my website over there in the event center? Are you watching from one of the Facebook pages, or are you watching from YouTube or Instagram? It is going to all these places, and isn't technology wonderful? So let me show you what we're going to do today. And I wanted to create something in my journal. I'm going to get that to get back into focus. It's having a little bit of a hard time. I might have to bring it down. I'm going to go ahead and switch over. There we go. See if we can't get that to bring it into focus. There we go. This is my journal, my long. I've been having fun adding things. This is what we did last week. I shared this side was done all in acrylic. And then I did a short little watercolor, quick little watercolor over on this side to add my journaling page, my creative reminders, something that I wanted to focus on. Really loved finishing this, and I loved how it turned out. Such a fun one. Today I'm going to just use watercolors. I've got a tree here, and I'm going to create this little bird's nest up in this tree. So come along, grab your watercolors if you have some with you, and have fun playing and painting with me. One thing I love about taking a little bit of time for myself, I'll be doing actually talking on a podcast this afternoon. They'll be invited me to come and speak. And one of the questions I know that they're going to ask is, and it's one we all ask ourselves, what do you tell people when they just say, oh, I just don't have time to do art? Well, I think about how anything creative has become one of those, what's the word I'm looking for? Electives in school. It's not considered one of your important basics. And I'm here to disagree with that because it's been proven and shown that teaching children, using it also for ourselves, it activates a part of our brain that nothing else can do such a great job at. And they found with children, as they're, if you don't start them out too early on those academics, you focus more in on the creative side, teach them their writing, teach them all their things through creativity, that they grow up to be more of a self-starter, somebody who can take charge of things and think for themselves and lead. Whereas what school that they're set, and I'm not dishing school, so please, it's not a controversy on that at all. But just giving them is not teaching them the skills that they need. And so I always found that interesting, and I love that concept and really clung to that as I was raising my own children. I find for myself, art gives me that pause. You can get so busy doing your thing and going about your day and doing, maybe you are concerned about something that's going on in life and in your world, and you're just thinking about it all the time. This will give you a pause, a little break to be able to say to yourself, oh, I just need this. And then you can get a whole new perspective, new outlook. All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump in here, and on this side, I just sketched out for myself a little tree trunk. And I'm going to go ahead and start painting on that. I've got my wonderful watercolors. These are a little more vibrant than the other ones, so I'm going to use it to start with. Grab myself a wonderful brown here and just drop that in on the page. Let that flow down. See, it's that whole act of just letting loose. That's why I love watercolors too. I enjoy using many different mediums. You will find that, especially in my art community, I encourage through the classes I give them acrylic, different mediums to use. But when I'm working in my own book, I typically use watercolors because it gives me that ability. It almost forces me to let go of that control that we all tend to want to have over things and just relax and see what comes. You can still control this, some degree, but I find the beauty is in when you let go of that control and you just enjoy what is actually happening on the page. That's what I find so magnificent. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for a second. Then we'll come back and we'll add something else to it. I've sketched in here a little branch. Now I just went wet on dry, which makes it a lot darker than if you apply the water first. But I'm also kind of just speedily doing through this because of when you're live, there's always a time element you're working against. So beautiful, that color when it hits down and it's added to the page. Let's go ahead and do that over here. It's dried enough now that I can kind of come over it and add some of these lines and that are distinguish a tree trunk. Start from the bottom and go up and get something dark happening down here. There, I won't spend a lot of time. Welcome, I'm glad you're here. Hi, Lynn, glad you're here. Happy Tuesday to you too. Working in my journal was just watercolor today. I've sketched out, just freehanded a tree and a branch. I'm going to add a little bird's nest play in here. What have you been working on yourself, Lynn? Is there a project you've been busy with? Any particular mediums that working in your watercolors or acrylics? Get this branch. I'm going to go ahead and get the branch completely in before I start working on my little nest. This is a long layout, so I was trying to kind of figure out as I was doing it, drawing it out, how to, of course, my camera won't pick all of it up, but we'll just move it right along here. Please send me a little message or note if I'm going off camera, because I get so focused on what I'm doing that I don't always look up. But I try to, so I can see any comments that pop in. I was just talking about the importance of creativity as speaking about, I'm going to be on a blog. Not a blog. What is that? A podcast. In my mind. A podcast this afternoon. They've invited me to come on and share a little bit about creativity and the importance of that. My art sisters. And I'm going to be speaking primarily to women that have children and the importance of creativity in their life. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. I love it. I have done something similar, painting close up of a saguaro cactus. I love that you are doing the whole 2-page spread. Yes. Typically, I split it up, don't I? But I did do a cactus. Was it back here myself? Right here. This one was quite a while back. Had so much fun creating that. Fun to just see what comes, huh? All right, let's leave that for right now. And let's head on over to our little nest. I'm going to change the colors. I think I'll go more towards what I consider like a hay color. So give it a little contrast in that. Maybe let's make that my off camera. There we go. Back over here. Let's make this our foundational. I remember one time I found a bird's nest. It had blown out, obviously the little birds were finished with it, and it had in it, which is so fascinating to me, they had gathered up from somewhere some plastic and some paper, and it was just precious to see what they had built their little nest with. Pull that off of there. Come back around. Lynn, let's ask you, if you were to be asked by somebody, what do you find art to be so important? What benefits do you find in art? What would you say? How would be your response to that? I love hearing other people's response. If you want to share that. Thank you for the comment on the cactuses. Let's go back over here. I'm bringing this in a little too soon. Let's try another brown over here. I'll put that brown on my little palette over here. It's actually almost like it's got a lot of red in it. Add some of that on over to my trunk. Now I'm going to grab the black and mix into that. Get a deep shade. And find my liner brush. I love my liner brush for something like this because it makes the lines so beautiful. but it is not available. Who knows where I have left that at, huh? Not happy with that brush. I think I'm getting a lot better luck with just using what I had. Get some little darker areas in here. Build some contrast, right? With that contrast. Shadowing down in here. Good deal. Coming right along. Let's see. I found art to be very healing, freeing. Once we let go of trying to be perfect and get into playing, it can be amazing. Thank you for stating that. Isn't that the truth? Um, this it's kind of like a wonderful pause button, isn't it? I know one day, was it last week or something? I had a lot going on, and just a lot on my mind, a lot I had to get accomplished. And it was you just get overwhelmed. You get overwhelmed with things. And I know the minute I didn't I stand at my table here and started to create one of the projects for my art sisters, it just freed. It's like I could breathe again. Let's lift that up. All right. And work with sometimes just like that. The color went down where it wasn't meant to go, but you just work with it, don't you? Play with it. Let's see. I want to make a blue. Let's do a blue back here. This little guy. Make sure I'm still in the camera there. All right. Let this dry. I'm going to actually use my heat gun just for a second to kind of dry that a little quicker. Come back in. little yellow over the top of this one. It is a very warm, it's a Indian summer, I guess you'd call more of a yellow. Now I'm just thinking right now a little bit about, you want it to have a round appearance to it, right? So I'm going to add a few areas here to just darken it up so that it gives that feeling of it having a curve to it. And I think I'll go ahead and add maybe a little bit of a blue. Down here at the bottom of this one. Mix that blue in like little spots on it or something, huh? What do you think? We're going to do that to that. Let's add a little of the brown over here, or the not going for realistic, are we? There. Good deal. We're going to let that dry now, and we're going to move on over. Let's keep this in here. I want to add some of my leaves and flowers to this. Grab my other. This has my greens in it. See if you can see that. I'm going to start out small. Right now I'm just creating kind of blobby areas. We talked earlier about being loose. So that's what I decided. Let's just get loose with this. I'm imagining, what I'm doing is I'm imagining a little branch coming down on that side. Okay, you can still see this over here. So I'm going to add my little green leaves on this side. I love this color of green. Kind of that avocado apple. I usually form my leaves a lot more perfect, but today we are going for imperfection. Just letting the shapes. Fun is that? Here's one that's you start to overthink it. When you start to you lose your rhythm. So you'll remind yourself as your left side of your brain, the left side of your brain wants to step in and take over like it always does, thinking about all the details of something. You just tell it, nope, time out. You get to go rest. This is time out for you. I'll get you back on camera. Here we go. Hi, Joni. No, I actually curled it and I didn't pull it back. I usually put it to get it out of my eyes because I have a lot of hair and it just kind of wants to fall forward. I'll usually use clips and pull it back, and that's what you're seeing different today. Thank you for that sweet compliment. Okay, we're going to move that over here. I'm going to go back to my brown. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Thanks for popping in. Yes, I actually, I told her I've got a podcast to do. Somebody's it's invited me to be on their podcast this afternoon and talk about art and some of the things I'm doing. And so I fixed my hair. And I figured by that time it'll probably be fallen down a little bit. All right. See that? Let's go back over here and give some little branches to this side over here. Whoopsie. Using the very tippy tip of this. See, this is a medium-sized brush, but I couldn't find my liner brush. So this is a nice one because it's got a great little point and let's put a little more watercolor here and darken some of that up. Give it some shadows and things. I'm going to add more over there. Coming along. Where's my green? Back to that green. Don't you love too how you can just layer in there and create your different shadows and shades? Got kind of just a little bit left on my brush, so I'm adding it in different places. All right, now I'm going to pop in here and drop a little pink. Oh, sorry, had you off camera there. Told you. Sometimes. Yeah, I don't know why I posted it. Sorry you didn't get that, Johnny, but I'm glad you're here. I see that you. Just wanted the contrast of the pink and the green. It's pretty intense. So let's pull that up. Just add a little bit over here. All right, we're not going to just keep going. I'm going to let's go back here and add some of this on this side. I asked earlier what people are working on themselves. What projects are they busy creating? Leave that like that. Okay, I've picked up a blue. So we're going to see what happens here. And I'm just barely touching. I don't want to come down too strong. Adding it to this little egg on this side. All right, I think I've got it exactly the way I want it. Just a part of me that always comes back in now and hits a few of these places to create some contrast. Tell me I'm not off the camera. That's the tricky part about using the two spread. The larger spread is. What would you be adding right now? I'm sure you're probably thinking, oh, let's do this, or oh, let's do that. Back, grab this color. Okay, come back to this. Make sure I'm on this page. Okay, move back to my trunk. My brush more flat. So fill that in. Okay, now, good, we've got that. Now I want to dry it because I do want to come back with one of my favorite things, which is the white pens. So I'm going to go ahead and dry it quickly so that I can do this while you're still on. What time are we at? Oh, just cruising along with this fast. Okay, that feels dry. Now I could just leave it, let it be loose, kind of like what we were talking about earlier, the cactus. Just let it be loose. I do love that look. Or we can come back in. I'm going to use my watercolor pencil. I'm going to get a little more detail in. It's coming along. Let's go ahead and darken that. Darken some of this. And I'm going to take my brush, just a little brush, wet that watercolor pencil in here, in here. Kind of lift it off on this end. There. just keeps speaking to me, so I'm going to keep using it. A little shading. For the longest time, I did not like watercolor pencils, and I guess it's because I just wasn't comfortable with them. I wasn't sure how to use them, or I don't know. I wasn't using them right. There is not too many. You can't go wrong with them. I expected something different, I think is what it was. And then when I started just playing with them and seeing what they could do, I don't use all the colors really, but I do use this black for my shading. Create some kind of a little shadow or something. Take some of that off, lighten it up a little. Come back in with my gold. Top. A lot down here at the bottom because it's going to be darker, the shadow. There we go. Using it back here because the egg's sitting in front of it. It's going to be a little darker right in here. Grab another little bit of blue. Intensify this. That color really brighten up. All right, my friends. Yes, the pencil does add a little dimension to it, doesn't it? I got to dry a little bit. Go back to this blue I had originally used. Go back over that. It's a little challenging right there because of the way that page goes down, but I think I got it. I think I got it what I wanted. I can come back in with my pencil and shade it more if I need to or want to. But there lies our little eggs in the nest. Okay, that'll dry. So much better if you can walk away and let it dry, but all right, some of these are losing their I can't even see what I did there. Just did some tiny little lines. Let's do some cross hatching. That's when you go two different directions. Blend that down. A little bit of a highlight. One thing I like about the jelly rolls is if I do put a line down and it's not doing what I hoped it would do, I can come back with some water real quick and lift it. Yes, sir. Okay, let's go over here to these. Some of these you can create more of a distinguishable leaf. Put the vein in it. This is personal preference. Sometimes you just want to leave it loose, and sometimes you want to come back in and add some detailing to it. All right, my art friends, thank you for joining me today. Let's add little highlights on this, just a little bit. On the wood. Can't see it from where you are, but there we go. So we finished up our little page today. I can find my statement that I want to fill in and put little highlights on this too. Add my creative reminder to this so I have something wonderful to look at besides just the picture, but I've got a wonderful uplifting statement. There we go. So fun. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll have fun on the podcast. You too. Thanks for showing up, y'all. And I will see you again next week. Have fun being creative.